is asleep. It's the month of Ramadan and Muslims have to eat before sunrise. Latifa is preparing breakfast for her son Rashid and daughter-in-law Aisha. Croissant and porridge.
Usually I get up first and prepare the breakfast and then I wake everybody up. Just to make it easier for them really. And it's a job I love doing, it's my pleasure to do it. So when they wake up, everything's actually ready on the table.
This week, we continue to follow some of Britain's most orthodox Muslims as they observe their holy month of fasting and prayer. Rashid, who goes to the BRIXTON mosque, will shortly be flying to Saudi Arabia to take up a new job as a teacher. Abdul Haq Baker will be looking after him.
Abdul Haq said that he's going to book the ticket for Tuesday and then he will confirm it on Tuesday as soon as he gets the news that he's actually got his visa, that everything went all right. So exciting.
In Luton, Yasmin's mother tells of her reaction to her daughter's conversion.
I think some people need a religion and some people don't, and I'm one that doesn't, and Kim's obviously one that does.
And the jinn, created from fire.
I don't see them, they're everywhere. We believe the jinn inhabit this earth as we inhabit the earth.
Breakfast is ready. Time to wake Aisha and Rashid. Are they difficult to rouse?
No, not usually, no. Usually 2 or 3 knocks is enough. So they look forward to getting up as well because they've got breakfast on the table.
Muslims are expected to pray 5 times a day. The first prayer, Fajr, is at dawn. In Ramadan, the day ends with an extended time of prayer and readings from the Quran. Hussein is running late to get to the mosque. How's Ramadan going for him?
It's going along beautifully at the moment. It's just a constant reminder that outside of Ramadan, a lot of people, they have abundant food. And while you're fasting, you realise that throughout the year, you know, we're just eating continuously and we don't actually think about it. It's just like you have a drink here, you have a food, eat here. Sometimes you even eat when you're bored, you know. And as the Ramadan is going on, it's realising to you, it's bringing close to you the people who are fasting involuntarily.
I think when you are aware of your need, or when you humble yourself, I think that's when you will become more aware of Allah, and you are able to appreciate His magnitude and appreciate His mercies. And when you think about Him, so many times in the society we just don't think about God. What's to think about? We're surrounded by high-rises and buildings and all this stuff that we did, supposedly. We're always reminded of man's magnificence. And that's why with the Muslim, every movement that you make almost is something that it can be worship.
When you're fasting during Ramadan, this breakfast in the morning is very, very important because there's a lot of blessing in it. So it's actually very important. So it's part of the Ramadan. For me personally, to miss this is like I haven't fasted during my day. So I don't feel well if I don't feel good if I haven't got up to do the breakfast in the morning, because it's part of it. It's part of the fun.
We're so blessed outside of this month to be eating all the time. It just makes you reflect. And it's not just about also eating food, it's also about everything, especially like from the time we start fasting to the time we break our fast. Also, if you're married, for the brothers that are married, they're not supposed to have sexual relations if they're married as well. So it's not just the eating and so forth, it's a lot of things. Even just normally as Muslims, we're not supposed to lie, we're not supposed to cheat, we're not supposed to be rude, but in Ramadan it's extra special.
So rarely do we marvel at the world, even though we know so much more about the world than people in the past did. People in the past had no idea what was happening under the sea. They had no idea of how, birds' wings work. They had no idea of how plants pollinated. We know, but we're not in awe. And I think it's that awe that puts it in perspective and puts really what we do, makes it seem pretty minuscule. When you have that humility, I think that's when you're closest to Allah.
As the time goes on, the day gets longer and longer, especially like me, my family are non-Muslims and so forth. So when you see everyone eating and everything else, to yourself you're like, alhamdulillah, I can't wait to break fast.
Rashid and Aisha get up. Aisha's not normally covered like this when she's at home with the family.
And it's quite funny when people ask, for example, does your wife at home wear the niqab? And I say, well, no, she doesn't, because there's no men around for her to, you know.
And what about Rashid's new hairstyle?
When I wear my Islamic hat, sometimes it looks quite odd when I've got lots of hair, and it sometimes looks like a mushroom, right? In my opinion, anyway. So it fits on my head properly when I've shaven off all my hair. And also Saudi is going to be very hot, so maybe that'll be a good thing as well. But as long as I keep the hat on when I'm going up, because it might look a bit, you know, funny.
Abdul Qadir from the Luton Quarter Islam Centre has just returned from Saudi, planning the Hajj pilgrimage and performing Umrah, which also involves a haircut.